1. Hello and welcome to the next part of labbuildr Unleashed. In the last chapter we discussed how to create a VDI snapshot of a SQL Server always on database. In this part we will focus on creating a VSS snapshot of a SQL Server database. For that we go into clients and create a new client with the new client wizard and point to our primary SQL Server with the primary copy and click Next. Networker will discover the server and the installed software, so it will detect our SQL Server. While he's doing it, we are going to the SQL Server itself, open up a PowerShell and cd into the Networker directory, which is in Program Files, emc Networker, go to NSR and the binaries directory. NSR bin. From there we run a NSR snap save VSS save minus question mark. This will go out and detect all the available save sets in terms of the VSS writer available to that machine. So it will go out and query all VSS writers Networker has support for and will return the valid save sets for it. While it's doing it, we are continuing on the Networker server. We click on SQL Server and click Next. Per default, the system will start the setup of a VDI-based backup, so we will have to override this later on. We are defaulting to a data domain backup and IP-based. We might select also any device, so for my case it's IP. We click to see the node that we have selected. We will back up the AdventureWorks database, which sits on our external drives M and N. We have to specify a user SQL ADM, and the password is password123 as always for this user. We click on Next, so we are asked if we want to run a DBCC consistency check. We leave everything here to default, and in clients field we type in VSS backup to know it's a VSS backup. Once we come to the group field, we create a new group and we call the group SQL_VSS_snap, because we are doing multiple snapshots. Client read-wise, we set it to 0 for this, and we set the scheduled start time to midnight, and click on Next. We back up to the Networker server only in this case, and then we click Create. Now he has created a new group and a new client for this. So if we go into the group, we can double click on the group from here. We see snapshot policies are not selected. We select a snapshot policy and we select the daily snapshot policy. The daily snapshot policy is 8 snapshots to run, and I can decide the time, and it will expire after the 9th snapshot, so we'll always keep 8 snapshots. In the advanced field, we change the interval to 2 hours, even so that we are not doing an automated backup, otherwise the wizard will complain, and we click OK. Then we go to the Media tab, go to our DDVE pool, and select SQL VSS Snap as a data source. Then we go back into configuration, go into the VSS group, then we double click on our always on node, and the first that we have to change is the save set. The MS SQL save set written here is the VDI save set, so we change this to a VSS save set. If we go to our to our AAG node, we see right now all the save sets are written in here from our NSR snap save. So we mark this one because we only want to back up the AdventureWorks database that sits on the external drives. So we can go to the external drive, and you can see on M there's the AdventureWorks DB, and the logs are on my drive N. So that will be the part of the setup. We go back to the Networker server and paste that save set in here. And then we go to the apps and modules and change the backup command to NSR snap _VSS_save I am always mixing this, so we check nsr snap VSS save is the command. Then we have to type in application information, nsr underscore snap underscore type equals VSS. That's everything that we need to change. Once this is done, we should be good to run our first backup. So I click on start, and it should start a VSS backup. We can monitor everything in the monitoring tab, or we go to our first node and open another PowerShell. We can cd into scripts and type in watch backup events minus computer name ALG node 1. So here we see the backup events that coming into this host. What we also might want to do is we do a disk shadow, and we can type list shadows all, and he found no snapshots on that machine. When Networker has done everything, we will see the snapshots here persistent because we are going to store like 8 snapshots. So right now what you see, there is a backup started. The initialization of the VSS writers has started. The backup was started at 8:24, and the NMM backup runs right now. We can follow this as well in the Networker server. So he does not find any safe group in the media database, so he wants to perform a full backup. While he's doing it, we might want to look at the snapshot policy that we have selected. So we go to Snapshot Policies and we say the daily snapshot policy. We do 8 backups in that daily snapshot policy. We retain 8 snapshots, and the first snapshot is copied to tape. I will show you later on how we can copy ad hoc snapshots to tape from our SQL administration. So from our SQL server, we can do the copy to tape. So VSS right now is querying the writer. It takes some moments. Typically this takes between 2 and 5 minutes to successfully query everything, and once this is done, the snapshot will start, and we might also monitor the whole process in Networker. Even we could do a double click on the group, and we see, okay, currently is the full backup running of the AdventureWorks database. If we have a failure in the discovery, this will already stop here. Since it is still running, it's a good sign that the backup will continue. So we go to our SQL server, and we can see snapshot request for application SQL Server right now has started. So right now we are talking to the VSS subsystem to create the replica. So we will snap disk MNN. Once this is done, we will mount the drives and start immediately a backup from those drives. The same message will pop up on our Networker server. So we can see there's a snapshot request for the AdventureWorks database. So whenever this event pops up in my event log on the system, it will also pop up here. So the snapshot request is completed, so the snapshot is done. If we go back to the always on node and do list shadows all, we see we have already a shadow copy of those 2 drives. What's been done now, we are importing those drives for MNN to do a backup of those drives. And once those drives are imported, we're doing the transfer to tape. Networker will keep those snapshots until we reach 8 snapshots, but there's always the possibility to delete those snapshots from Networker user for Microsoft. What you see right now here from the snapshot management, the file system mount succeeded. It's always mounted into the networker temp directories on the networker server. So we might check this one as well. We could go to the directory on the networker server to see it is mounted. So C program files, EMC networker, NSR temp directory, and here we see the mount points. Those are the two volumes with the AdventureWorks database. I go out of this right now because otherwise we are not able to unmount. And now we are starting the backup to the data domain. And once this is done, our backup is finished. So now you can see the transfer session starting to the data domain. So we are doing a direct save to the data domain device. Shouldn't take too long because I backed up this database several times. So DDBoost will know that it does not have to transfer too many data. So we should be ready soon with the backup. At the last part of the backup, we back up a XML file that describes the VSS container so that we know what was part of the backup in order to restore the volumes using VSS. Then the drives get unmounted so that they don't stay stalled in the system. Once this is done, our backup is finished. We can now go to the always on node and start networker user for Microsoft. This will take a while. So once networker user for Microsoft has loaded, we can go to snapshot management, and there we can see the snapshot that we have taken at 6:34. Over the course there will be 8 snapshots available. I will show this later on once I've done my 8 snapshots, so stay tuned for the next part on managing those snapshots.